Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's episode of Late Night Q&A with ZodWriter. Tonight, I got a special guest with me tonight, a really cool gentleman in the home arcade space, just in the gaming space in general, and this is Endless1up. What's up, man?
How's it going, ZodWriter? Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. That's
Man,
very
it's
nice.
it's great to have you, man. I mean, you literally gave me some of the most entertaining stuff to watch, man. When I was under the weather, and you and Rexer were having your feud about about plywood and
Wasn't really
MD
a feud because
MDF. Oh well, it wasn't a feud, but it
I
was
was
it
right
was
and he kept
something.
arguing with me
I'm
to
just
say
saying
I
that
was
it was
wrong.
entertaining. It was really entertaining, the two of
Yeah.
you. I just thought that that was awesome. Like, oh my god, like I couldn't believe how like it was, how entertaining it was. Like I actually, that was
It
some
was. It was
some good content, and we've
yeah, it
got
occupied a part of my life. It was very entertaining.
very entertaining, and you've been doing a lot of interesting content lately. I love how you do your little your little animations and cartoons,
Yeah.
with different video game pixel characters, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really fun drawing all those. But I'm my personality type. It's interesting. People are always like, "Oh, you should do it because you love it." Well, yeah, that's part of it. But if people aren't watching it, then the dopamine isn't there, and I don't love it. Like that's just the facts of the matter. So, and people often don't realize, like just because you like something doesn't mean you'll continue to do it if nobody else likes it. Like that's
Well,
not a
I
concept that
always
people.
I always look at YouTube like this. I always look at it as it's a hobby, and if I don't enjoy the content that I'm putting out for whatever reason, then it's time for me to move on. I don't really care what other people think one way or the other, because if people like you and they like your personality and they like the content you put out, they're going to continue to support you regardless. They don't need, you don't. I've always looked at it as I don't need anybody's validation. If I'm not doing something, if I'm doing the wrong thing, I'll know doing the wrong thing, and I'll know it's time to move on. As adults, I feel like we should all be able to trust our own judgment
Oh
and
shit!
know
Then I better
and
stop
know like,
today.
oh man, we're doing the wrong thing here. This
Oh
isn't
shit!
working out here. And we've
Yeah.
got the great and beautiful Rhea in the chat. Thank you for
Hey
coming,
Rhea.
Rhea. I appreciate it.
I
She
love her
says, "What's up,
streams.
y'all? Hit that like button." Oh, absolutely. I love everything that Rhea does on YouTube is
Yeah, I love the
amazing.
positive vibes.
She's like one of the most positive people I've ever seen in my life, and it's just so refreshing to go on and watch her do like a chill stream where she's either playing some games,
Yeah,
or she'll be doing her
I
glimmer
agree.
cast where she's got a panel of amazing people. So you know what?
I
Forget
haven't yet.
subscribing to forget subscribing to me. Forget
Yeah,
subscribing.
forget
Subscribe,
subscribing to
subscribe,
me.
subscribe to Rhea.
Go to Ray.
Rhea is awesome.
Yeah, she is.
That's just the truth. I mean,
I agree. That's
it's
awesome.
I mean, you talk about a positive entity on YouTube.
Yeah.
We need more Rheas on this
Yeah,
platform.
I started out that way, and then some mofos came at me with some nonsense, and I, I don't deal with that. But I've learned a lesson there. It's not worth my time anymore. Like
Oh,
I,
to go back
d-
and forth with people.
yeah,
Yeah,
like it's not
yeah.
worth it.
No,
It
I
doesn't
won't do that
matter.
either. I don't
I
care
learned
about
it.
that
I
either.
learned a hard lesson on Twitter even before, like before the stupid plywood nonsense. Like you
See,
can be an expert at
that
something.
was actually cool though. That actually generated some good views.
Yeah, yeah, it did. It was entertaining, and like I could make videos pretty quickly. I don't know if people realize that. Like I can. I actually just recorded. So the videos I do for my Steam Deck and stuff, because I'm a video editor by trade. Like I put those things together pretty quickly. And I think that's part of the reason why I might not be super duper interested in it, since I do it already for a job. I don't have as much. No one's paying me for it. here. So
Right.
where
Right.
I do have a job where someone pays me to do it, and then I'm like, well, what am I doing? Like, um, I think it's just because I don't want to. You're never gonna get rich from a W-2. There's a little tip for
Well,
everybody
well,
out there
that's
in the
not.
world.
Well, the thing is, I always looked at it like this as well. If you're doing YouTube to try and get rich, then you probably shouldn't be doing YouTube. It's
No, 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 no. That's not. But I'm just saying, in general, you need to be an entrepreneur. Like have
yeah.
different. You need to be a jack of all trades. Um, so
You could be a jack of all trades. You could be. We've got a guy out there, a good dude, Mike of all trades, who's going to be the guest on this panel next week.
Mike is
Uh,
awesome.
Mike is an awesome guy too, and yeah, this is.
He's
This,
super positive too. See,
uh,
and I want to emulate that more. That's why I was like, I'm gonna leave all that nonsense behind me of like that negativity because like
well,
it
you're
really
good though because you
digs
do a
deep
lot of
inside of you
streams.
and it sucks. Yeah, like
Yeah,
I
and
did.
you're good because you do a lot of streams where you play games and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
and when
I
people
have been in a little bit.
come into your chats and start giving you nonsense, you know when the right time is to boot them out and to just continue doing what you're doing. I mean, and
Yeah.
that's yeah, people got to respect you for that. What's up, Chad Snyderverse? Says what's good, Zod? Good vibes, and we got console fanboy in here, my brother from another mother. Yay,
What's
great
up,
guest.
bud?
What's
What's
up?
up, console
What's
fanboy?
up? What's up? Good to see you, Papa Brad's Gaming. Always a pleasure to have you in here. One of these days, I'm going to have you on the late night Q&A if you're available because got to talk to you too, man. I
Yeah,
love
Papa
this. I
Brad's
love this
awesome.
community. So many cool people. So many fun conversations to be had. It's like you never run out of things to talk about when it comes to these retro games and these home arcades and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun because and everybody it's like everybody can relate to this stuff in one way or another. It's like there's nothing that you can so you can talk about if a person is watching this and they're not into the home arcade scene, I could bring up, you doing, the Steam Deck stuff recently, and we'll talk about the Steam Deck, and the Steam Deck kind of appeals to both
Yeah.
modern and retro audiences, retro gamers. I mean, so I guess right off the bat, I guess we could start there,
You
man.
like that it's wood?
How's it? Well, I that's that's a good thing. I was gonna make that observation, but I didn't want to be too
You
funny.
can, because I initiated it, and now it's cool. But if I wouldn't have, it's maybe not so cool, but
So,
but yeah,
so
you
how?
can. It's
What are
okay
your?
now.
What are some of your like initial impressions to somebody? What would you tell somebody who is kind of interested, maybe in getting a Steam Deck, but's kind of on the fence and doesn't know one way or the another if they should do it because there's so many handhelds out on the market right now that allow
Well, I
you to.
would say I trust Steam because it's a company that I've heard of. It's been around for like
Yeah, yeah. It's
20
not. We're
years
not talking
since.
about Pow Kitty right now, so
Yeah,
that's.
there's a couple companies out there that are making decent handhelds, but those are fly by night companies. They just understand that hey, I can take these components and make this device, uh, and they'll keep creating new versions of that device, but they're not Steam. Like Steam has their own store that's been in existence. Like I've had my Steam account for 15 years. That's a long time to have a freaking video game account on a device.
Yeah, I've
You
had a
know, because
Steam. I've had a Steam account for a while, and I've also had a GOG.com account for well over a decade. So
nice.
I understand. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's.
it's weird because that means we're old. I guess I
But
don't know.
I mean, it's like but it shows your love for games too, man.
Yeah.
To amass an online library of titles like that. I mean,
So,
it's.
and leading into my answer to your question is if you have any Steam library, I think it's 100% worthwhile to get. If you have no Steam library and you've never owned a PC, this is probably the best way to get into it because of the price point. Because the most expensive device is probably $200 more than the least expensive video card. you know. So, and that's just one component of a whole gaming computer.
Right,
you
and
got
you don't
so
need
you're
your
saving
you don't
four
need a
hundred
computer. You
dollars.
don't need a computer if you get this. This is
Yeah, you're going to be spending between 800 and a grand for a low end gaming PC, and then 2 grand and up for middle and high end. So, what's up, Steps? Steps Gaming's here.
oops.
Yeah, she's talking about the cartoons things I did that are very much like the Adult Swim stuff, and that's probably where I got a lot of the influences at the silly those cartoons. Realistically, I draw those like in a matter of seconds. So I just take a photo and I look at the photo and I draw it exactly like the photo, and that's it. It's nothing fancy. Um, but I have an application that I can just dump all that stuff into real quick, and everything's already mapped out because I made a bunch of templates already, you know. So
Yeah,
it's just
and
another
I
video
agree.
edit to
Kind of,
do this.
it does kind of have your animations kind of give me like an Aqua Teen Hunger Force kind
Yeah.
of vibe, and I appreciate that. I think that that's pretty funny, and that's a lot of and I remember there was a big um, argument going on in the retro community. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was during Spectator Gate over
Yeah, I made a
over
couple animations about
and
that. They
you
were
were like,
funny.
let's make, and you made some, and then you made a couple animations about people being
And I don't give
happy.
a shit. I don't care if it's on
Right.
there or not.
It's like, dude, that's the way I was too.
Yeah,
And it was
but
like,
it was fun. I enjoyed making those videos. I mean, you can tell from the
yeah,
smile on my face when we're
it
talking
was
about it.
amazing, and I'm, and I could and I could tell, like, you just had some fun with it and enjoyed doing what you were doing, and
Yeah.
it seemed to go over really really well. And Console Fanboy wants to know: have you tried emulators on Steam Deck yet?
No, I have like 300 plus Steam games that are like current gen games, and I'm not one to. I'm definitely, if I was gonna pick a genre like modern or retro, I'm definitely lean towards more modern. I like new technology a lot,
Okay.
so but I still love retro because that's what
And
started
to
it
be,
all for
to be
me.
fair,
That didn't
we
exist.
do have a lot of ways to play our retro games too.
Yeah.
So you're
But
primarily
I do
using the
have.
Steam Deck for all your modern stuff, basically.
Yeah, I could. I mean, I've like watched a couple videos on it, and it's pretty easy. You just gotta go on your device. The best thing to do is take your device and plug a keyboard and mouse into it, and hook it up to a monitor real quick, and just get into the desktop. Go to this website, download this one downloader, and then in the Steam library, there's another counterpart to that you also have to download, which is also just one click and it just downloads them. And then that's it. You download those two things, and then it's up to you to put the ROMs where you need to. But I just,
Uh,
like I said, I want to, I want to keep it more of a licensed kind of road because I'm doing the Steam Deck videos every day. I don't want to like make my device cumbersome. I don't want to find out that installing that stuff on it slows it down in some sense or bogs it down because it deviates slightly. Um, because I'm installing something on the desktop level to be used within the like OS of the Steam Deck, which is different than the
right.
OS because it's a Linux OS, and then there's like another UI that sits on top of that you use for the Steam Deck, and it's still too new of a device. They're gonna sort all that stuff out. I want to wait to the point where it's just one click, and then me dumping ROMs.
Oh yeah,
We're
yeah.
not
Well,
there yet. It's two clicks,
right,
and then me dumping
right.
ROMs. But it's
Well.
Linux.
Somebody that knows all about
Cool
dumping
Toy
ROMs
has the
and does
ROMs.
everything amazing. It's to die for, clean
To
like a
die
mother. Yeah,
for.
yeah, yeah. And you know what? Happy birthday,
Clean
Bobby
like a
Voo. Today is
mother.
great Bobby Voo's birthday. Gotta love Bobby. Bobby, I
Bobby's
hope you're
awesome.
having amazing. I hope you're having an amazing day, brother. It's great to see you tonight, man. I hope everything is going wonderful for you. I mean, one of the one of the greatest people on earth. That's what I
For
tell
sure.
everybody. Bobby Voo is salt of the earth. Fantastic individual. Once again,
He has a good
happy
aura
birthday.
around him. You can see he
Absolutely.
glows.
Absolutely,
He
absolutely.
does.
And You know, I just when I think about a Steam Deck, for me, I do have an old Steam account, and I got a few games on it, but I haven't amassed like a massive library. But
Yeah,
I,
well, so
I
if you wanted to buy a device just to use as an emulator, I think there's ones that out there are cheaper.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. There's so many different ways to play games if you just want emulation.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm
like
not really looking at
this
Steam
plays
Deck
Elden
except
Ring,
yeah,
so
yeah. I
that's
mean,
like I don't need to play Mario N64. Like
right. There's a ton of ways you
I
can,
have an N64 if I want
take
to
it
go
all.
play Mario on it, and
Oh,
I did
there.
play it already once in my life. Like I always make the joke that like I've done so many different jobs that if I told you how many jobs, you probably wouldn't believe me first off. But which also has made me a well-rounded individual, um, and I think that
Well,
has
experience. There you go. Right.
yeah
It's not about the. It's not about the possessions and the things that you amass. It's about the experiences, right?
yeah for sure, and like
So,
it's like living multiple lifetimes. Sometimes like, being able to experience different things, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
and
Like
Chad says
so
Steam
soft.
has so many fantastic games. One of my favorites is a game called
Metal
Metal
Gear
Gear
Rising.
Rising, which is unfortunately unavailable on most modern consoles
Yep.
aside from Xbox.
Yeah, and he makes a good point. There's another game I just played that you can only play on Xbox and PC, and I have it on Steam. So, and that's really nice. And I love the game. Like the game's great. I found a couple games like that. So,
Well, I remember, like for me, I think the first game I would play if I were to get a Steam Deck is an old game called Advent Rising that
I've heard
was
of that, but I don't think I've played
remastered.
that.
It's a sci-fi game, a science fiction epic that was recently remastered by fans of the game,
Ooh,
remastered
that's
to
always
run
cool.
in HD, and it looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, they redid a lot of the artwork and stuff from the ground up to make
That's
it
pretty neat.
to make it make it just look wonderful. And I think if, like I say, I think if I had a Steam
That's
Deck,
fancy when
I think that would be
freaking
the game
fans do that.
the first game I would try to load up because it's a
Well, one of the
fantastic game.
first games I did load up was Half-Life 2, which is a Steam Valve game. But there's also, you're talking about remakes and fan made content. There's the Black Mesa, or I think I'm saying that right. And that's the fan remake of Half Life. And that's super cool. Like, they did a really good job on that game. Um, it brought it up to the snuff of what Half Life 2 was.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, yeah, I
So
think,
what do you play the most?
what do I play the most? Right now, I'd say I'm probably still playing Elden Ring. Like I just love exploring it. I turn it on and just let it sit there on all day long. It says I've played 420 some odd hours, which I really haven't. I'd say I probably played 200, but then I just leave it just on my computer for a while. And that's another cool thing about the Steam Deck is like if I have it on my computer, I can just launch it on here and it takes it over instantly. Like it just sends it to my device, so I can like go into my bedroom and continue playing it, or go use the bathroom and continue playing it. Hence why they call it a Steam Deck, so you can drop steamers.
Yeah, you can sit on the toilet and
Yeah,
just enjoy and never have to take your face away from the screen. I
yeah,
mean, you're in
yeah.
good shape.
So the
Uh,
cool thing about this too is it is a PC, so you can like Chad has made a great comment in there about mods. Every game that you put on this can have mods added to it because there is the Steam Workshop, and like there's the Steam community that people create mods and you can add them to your game and stuff like that. So it kind of opens that world up. It's way more open of a system than like Xbox or PlayStation. It's it's like you compare Apple, which is a very
well,
closed system, to
hopefully
like
it stays that
Windows based
way.
PCs.
hopefully it stays that way because it's
Well,
still relatively new, right? So
yeah, I bet you any money that the Steam operating system in this, which is a free operating system based off of Linux, this is going to make Microsoft go out of business, at least for the Windows side of things. They're only going to end up doing enterprise and server based content to be able to do security. But when it comes to the home market, I bet you any money in the next 10 years, Steam owns everybody's home PC's operating system and everybody's on Linux. Because this is driving so many companies and Microsoft and NVIDIA to create drivers and open source content for Linux. Because when you freaking make content in Linux, it becomes open source. And that's why a lot of companies won't do it, because once it's out there, or they'll buy versions of Linux that someone has modded and then they lock it down, like Red Hat stuff and things like that, where you can find versions that of like corporate like Linux versions that people will put on servers and stuff like that. But that's about as far as I'll talk about it, because
so
I just
like
know
if
that they
they,
do that. I don't know
but the
what it
thing is
does.
that like I heard they were looking into using that once that operating system becomes more portable, you'll be able to use it on all sorts of systems,
Mm-hmm.
not just the Steam Deck. So people will be probably be putting the Steam OS on
Their home PC.
lower to mid powered PCs,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Raspberry Pis.
phones, Raspberry Pis. Yeah, I mean it's
The
the
phone thing's a
the
great
sky's
idea,
the
huh?
limit.
I didn't even think about that. That's cool. That would be cool if they could figure out a way to, because not that the Android and not that the iOS is bad, but why not have a third one? I like competition. It makes things better, you know. So
Well, particularly if you just want to be able to play games. I mean,
yeah,
how many people you
exactly. It's like,
get like a dedicated PC just to
yeah,
be able to play certain games that you like? The Steam operating system is perfect for that. So to
yes,
be able to boot right into it and to not have to worry about Windows or anything else,
yep,
you're in a good spot. I mean,
for
that's what I
sure.
think. That's what I think we're missing. Like you mentioned, yeah, you got Linux, Windows, and you got Android and all these other operating
Mm-hmm.
systems. But if you just take Steam and make it its own separate thing, where if you're a gamer and you want to buy a PC that has a gaming operating system on it,
Yep.
if the compatibility is as high as they're talking about,
Yeah.
then yeah,
Like well, Steam a long time ago wanted to make a device called um it was going to be what the Steam Deck is right now, but it was going to be its own little computer you just stuck underneath your television. And it's not the Steam Link, that's different. That just like linked your computer to your TV. But this thing was going to be like the Steam Box, or I don't know what the heck they were calling it, something like that. And they made some prototypes, but it never came to fruition. But them researching and developing that and understanding the system on the chip market, that how, because like what Apple does with their M1s, that's system on a chip. This is an AMD system on a chip stuff. So like they're combining all that crap together now, and it's gotten
oh,
so much better.
Arcade One Up is a
Yeah,
system on a chip,
yeah. These are just like, this is like NASA supercomputer versus Arcade 1up crap. But
and
so, but yes, they are the same thing. Yeah, it's a system on a chip, but it's like owning a Lamborghini versus like a Pinto.
pretty
So
much yes. And Sosa Fam Bam Bam says yes, I made it. This is about to be awesome. Endless is so cool, and Zod's interviews are the best. This will this will be 100%. Yes, thank you so much, Sosa. Appreciate
I
it.
agree with that.
Appreciate you being here. I love it. This is fantastic stuff. Um, I I want to know because I'm seeing people in the chat talking about the
Oh man,
$17 arcade one up
those
mistake on
stinkers.
Amazon.com
Those
for
stinkers.
the countercade, for the Mortal Kombat countercade. Did you get your 17.99 $18
No.
countercade? Because I did. I got one,
Nice.
and I should have been smart and bought like 10 of them because
Whatever.
you
I
could
think
have.
that's that. I think that's karma. Maybe you think you did the right thing.
I think I did a good thing buying one.
Not that people who bought a bunch did a bad thing,
No, I mean,
but you left it for
I know
somebody
Council
else.
Fanboy bought a couple. I know there were some people that bought multiple, and so that they could sell them. But I was just
But
happy to
nothing.
get. I was just
Yeah,
happy to get it for 17.99
I'm bitter as
for
shit about that crap, and
for
I'm
the
so
mod
sad I didn't get one.
for the
I'm gonna
modding
cry.
potential. I mean, it's almost worth it now to buy that mod kit so that you could like add a Raspberry Pi to it or a PC or something. You could do all
Rubbing
kinds of.
salt in the wound.
It's
It's such
it,
a good deal. It's so cool that people got it. Like, I don't care if a bunch of people bought 10 of them. Like, how cool is it that that deal existed for a minute? Like, that's so crazy.
because somebody forgot to add a decimal
Yeah.
point. That's really all
So
it was.
crazy. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, people have to realize that this really is it's a clerical error. That's what
Oh, for
people need.
sure.
And then and like whenever they
And
have
so
those
is the
kinds of
other
things,
one,
they
pinball.
totally have to honor them. And like I
Yeah.
said, I'm just happy to have gotten one because if it wasn't 17.99, there was no way I would have bought it.
Yeah, I would.
I'm like, this is how many ways do we need to be able to
That's a
play
no-brainer for under
Mortal,
20 bucks.
Mortal Kombat? Yeah, it's like, hey, listen,
I I
I'm
think it
good.
would have been cool, like if you had a YouTube channel, buy a bunch of them and sell them, or not sell them, but give them away on your channel. You know that's cool. I know a couple
See,
people
and
said
that
that they
would be
would do
something.
that.
That would be something pretty dope, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
because then you're able to give back, and it didn't cost you a ton, which is super duper cool. It's a win-win. You
You
know,
buy,
I like.
like if you bought 10 of them, you're still spending less than the cost of what
I
the
know.
actual countercade retails for.
I know.
So you technically didn't even spend what you would have spent for one, and you got bought 10, and now you're able to give them away on your
Yeah.
channel. I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, it's super
Uh,
cool that people got them too, though. Because
yeah,
it's one of those things you'd be like, you try to go do it and it's gone, and then nobody actually got it. You know,
yeah.
like they found it too quick. But it's cool that some people
Cool that
snatched it
so
up.
many people snatched it up. And Council Fanboy says, I bought three because after the drama I've been through this year, God wanted me to be happy. Well, yeah, I'm
Karma's a
glad.
thing.
I'm glad you got three. I'm glad you got three. I'm thankful that I got one. And Sosa says the EJP menu works and saves on the countercade. Heck yeah! Wow, that's awesome. See now, I didn't try all of that. I saw Sosa. I think you put out a video on the
That's
on
super cool.
the EJP, right? I think it was you, Sosa. I think it was Sosa who put a video out, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken. But yeah, I would have definitely, I would definitely use it for the mod potential. You know, for getting it that cheap. I mean,
Yeah.
even if you open it up and you tinker with it and you ruin it, you didn't spend a lot on
Yeah,
it.
it's $20. I've bought bags of weed that cost more.
So
Sorry.
it's not really a big deal. I I'm just happy that
I use everything. I just measure everything in my life off of how many bags of weed it cost.
and Council Fanboy says I would do a giveaway to my subs, but 90% of
Some
my
of my
subs are haters.
haters.
Well, I mean, at least Zohar. At least you acknowledge that and you understand the reality of the situation. So that's a good thing.
I think he has more fans than
I do
that.
too. I do too. We all
I'm his
know.
fan. You're his fan.
Yeah,
Bobby is.
exactly.
Everybody in this chat is his fan.
We all know how super talented Zohar is, man.
Oh yeah, for
That
sure.
can't be understated. I look at it
He's
this way:
glowing right now.
between between people like Console Fanboy and Bobby Vu, you know,
Hmm.
these types of folks in the community, Sosa, uh, you know, we're surrounded by good people.
Hmm.
So for every person that is
A negative
questionable or
Nancy.
negative in so many ways, we've got so many people that are positive and are all about the hobby and the good parts of the community, which is amazing. Which is amazing. So, and
Freaking console
Council
fanboy.
Fanboy says my pants are off. Thanks, guys. Oh man.
Oh my goodness gracious. That's funny. That's too funny. I
Chad
love it.
Snyderverse says, speaking of Mortal Kombat, when the heck is NetherRealm announcing Mortal Kombat 12? That's a good question. I keep seeing, Ed Boon messing with people on social media on with tweets and stuff. And I honestly think the next thing we're gonna get will be some kind of a like HD remaster of the original Mortal Kombat games.
That'd be super
feel
cool.
like that. I just feel like that's got to happen because we're sitting here waiting and waiting patiently, and people have been asking for that for the better part of a decade now. So if we don't get it for the 30th anniversary, will we get it for the 40th anniversary? I don't know.
You got a super chat.
Oh my God! Shipping was over $100.
Holy guacamole, Batman!
Counter K to a friend. That's crazy.
Well, that's nice that you sent a friend one though. Yeah, but that's a lot of money.
That's a nice a nice gift. And I got my good friend Skywalker, the Jedi, here with the $5 super chat, stopping by to say what's up and pay my respects to General Zod. Lots of crazy stuff going on right now, so it's even more important to support the real 100%. I agree with you. Thank you so much, Skywalker. I appreciate that, and I'm gonna give you a drop here. I'm gonna give you a deleted scene from Matt Reeves, the Batman. This is a deleted scene that was never. That's the wrong drop. Oh, hold on a minute. I don't know why that does that. That does that to me every time. When I click on a drop, it always gives me this. That's why I hate doing
the
drop.
one under.
Because it always gives me the first one right away. It doesn't allow me to click on.
Whichever one you want.
One that I really want. So we're gonna go with this. Thank you again.
What's up, kid? Hey, what's your price for that shit? Alright, what's up? What's up? We should just go blast them motherfuckers. Hey, come on, let's go blast that fool. Oh, yeah, shit. That's the one, two, no shit. Oh, relax. Man, that shit just blast the rest of stupid. On the serious side, we gotta be down the fool, man.
Freeze. Don't even think about moving. Turn that fucking noise off. I should shoot every last one of you just based on the music you listen to.
Hey, check this clown out. Halloween until October. Didn't we kill his chingat might already?
No, I'm not here to trick or treat, but I'm definitely here to turn you fucking douchebags into permanent ghosts. Get on your knees and interlock your fingers behind your head. You bitches get your ass in that room, and I swear to God, if I see a sliver of light from that door jam, I'm gonna have each and every one of you suited for a white sheet with black holes for eyes, you feel me?
Fucking killed you, dog! I left you for dead in the alley that night. You ain't even fucking here. You're a ghost, vato.
You killed the man, not the cause. You thought you were pretty badass out there destroying people's lives, didn't you? Well, I'm here to settle the score for every last person you victimized in this city.
You know who you're fucking with, you stupid motherfucker?
Yeah, I know who I'm fucking with. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, and dead as evil can evil.
No, motherfucker, you know what? You're fucking with pure evil. We got our homies on a barrel. They'll be back any second, dog. You know what? Regardless, you ain't getting out of here alive. You're done, that's it.
That may be true, but I'll live long enough to piss on your fucking grave. Judge not, that I not be judged. Though I walk in the shadow of darkness, my shield is my vengeance, my armor is my hatred, my weapon is my Father, His Son, and her Holy Ghost. This is a message from this city. Every Mog has its day.
Well, I don't know what to say, but that's, masterful Matt Reeves content, right? Thank you again, Skywalker. I appreciate it very much.
What did I just watch? I'm
Guy
so
Walker says,
confused.
Todd played this during our interview. I was dying backstage. Yeah, that's a deleted scene. Yeah.
I've never seen it.
So deleted that it'll never even make the home video release.
Remember home videos, man? Those are good times. Going and getting your popcorn at Blockbuster, picking out your VHS tape or DVD from the wall of 100 versions of like Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind was never at my Blockbuster. I don't know why that is the movie I went with. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Well, I don't know, but I used to like the old mom and pop video store more than Blockbuster.
My friend, well, he wasn't my friend. He was friends with my brother, but his parents owned one of those. And that always blew my mind because I thought those tapes cost like $300 back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the thing back in the day. If you didn't return the tape, you were charged for it. The tape was like $100.
Yeah.
Just for because remember back then movies were priced for rent. They weren't priced for regular
so like commercial
consumers.
Use kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
No. What's up, Sharon Peters? Good to see you, as always.
Is Sharon
Punisher
Peters
during
related
Halloween.
to Dolores Peters? Do we have the whole Peters
yes,
family here?
we got Sharon and Dolores here, and sometimes Anita shows up too, and sometimes Sharon's mom comes.
Sharon's mom. Does Sharon have any brothers?
I don't know. I know Sharon's grandfather was.
No, Sharon's grandfather.
Sometimes things are deleted for a reason. That's a good point. Console fanboy with regards to the scene. Yes. Show the XXX version of Batman. You know what, Sharon? I was actually thinking of ripping a couple of small scenes from the XXX version. Not the pornographic stuff, but just ripping out a couple of the actual scenes and putting them on there as drops, like of the actual acting and stuff. Like when you see Batman up against Spider-Man and that type of BS, you could actually get away. You could actually get away with it and justify it because it's just just for drops. I was debating whether or not I wanted to do that, and for you, Sharon, I may actually do that. I'm considering that now. You've convinced me. Let's see. And Dolores Peters says, hello, handsome, and hi, Zod. Hello, good to see you, Dolores. Let's see. Chad Snyderverse says, hey, Zod and 1UP, what is your most anticipated game for the rest of the year? For me, it's that new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge. Love those OG Ninja Turtles games.
I do like that old school kind of beat 'em up stuff. Like, it's always funny. I think when 19K Fox is like, I love Alien versus Predator. That is probably one of my favorite beat 'em ups. It really is a good one to pick out of the list of them all. But I like the Dungeons and Dragons ones. Like the Hilo Hack has a lot of good stuff on it. I think there's 2 Dungeons and Dragons games on there that are cool.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Chad. I'm really looking forward to Shredder's Revenge, and they're also putting out that Cowabunga collection that's going to have a bunch of the Ninja Turtles games, and you're going to be able to play online, which is pretty cool. I mean, why buy an expensive Arcade 1UP Turtles cabinet just to play online when you can get the Cowabunga collection for $39.99 and play online to your heart's content? I mean, I don't, and you'll have a bigger pool of people to play against because, if you're PlayStation or Nintendo Switch or whatever you have, I mean, there's more people that have those than Arcade 1UP. Just saying. I mean,
sometimes I feel like I do sound like Kermit the Frog, and sometimes I also feel like I sound like Bill Cosby in the pudding commercials. So, and those are not intentional. It just comes out.
Grandpa Peters wants to know where Sharon was last night. Oh my goodness.
Is it Sharon's mom or Sharon the daughter? So they said I sound like Kermit the Frog. I'm Kermit the Frog.
Well, you do a lot of voices with your animations that you do, which I think is super cool, and that's why I say, like, what's usually, you say you can do those really quickly. What's usually your inspiration? Do you just think of something cool and then you just decide, okay, I'm going to do an animation, or what's your process usually like?
My brain is like dumb and just keeps going and never stops. So it's not hard for me to come up with ideas. I just do it. As somebody who used to create art a lot and stuff, you would be like, oh, I want this to be perfect. I want this to be perfect. And you would never finish it. And then at some point I was just like, F it. I'm never going to finish any of this crap. So I started doing it as a joke. And doing it as a joke, you can do it really quickly. And it doesn't take as much, it's just, like, I've worked over 40 jobs in my life, man. And they're all different. None of them are remote. Well, maybe, like, I was a pizza delivery guy, but then I made pizzas. That's kind of similar, but not really. But, so, like, all those things that I've done, I think helps kind of come up with ideas. Also, I, was really into animation, and I went to an animation school right after high school, but I didn't finish it because I was like, F this crap, it's a bunch of math, and I didn't want to do math. So, I ended up actually not doing any of that stuff. So this is like, this animation stuff I do now is funny because I never actually ended up doing any of that crap. I did still do creative stuff. I just didn't do that part of it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not the biggest fan of math either, so I totally get it. What's up, your average gamer? Good to see you, as always, bro. Oh my God. Chad Snyderverse says, oh yeah, definitely copping that Turtles collection, the Sonic one as well. You know what other one I'm kind of looking forward to? That Capcom arcade collection that they're putting out.
That's gonna have like a bunch of Street Fighter stuff.
Have a bunch of I think it actually only has one Street Fighter. I think it has the Hyper Fighter, but it's gonna have a bunch of the lesser known Capcom games like Red Earth and I think like Puzzle Fighter and a few of them.
Well, that's cool.
But I don't know, man. Like what's your right now favorite arcade machine that you own out of all the ones that you have? First of all, how many do you have?
I have the Midway Defender Partycade and the Star Wars Atari, and then I have an iArcade, and then I have my Tron and my MVSX and a Pac-Man, and I have a Legends Pinball. Those are the machines I have. Out of all of them, I play the MVSX the most because of the high-low hack.
Oh yeah, the MVSX. I've said it before. For me, I feel like the MVSX is the best offline retail cabinet you can buy. That's not a multicade from a separate company or anything from At Games. Honestly, the best. Right out of the box, MVSX, you're getting 50 games, and then if you add the high-low hack, you've just got everything you'll ever want to play, really, out of those types of games.
Exactly,
I mean, it's technically it's perfect to have access to the entire Neo Geo library and then all the Capcom stuff. I mean, what more can you ask for at that point? I just I look at that like, and what's so funny to me, I don't know how you felt about it, but for me, I was so impressed with the fact that the high-low hack actually has a better UI than the UI that the MVSX was released with.
It does.
I mean, you look at it and you're like, my God, this is just from a bunch of programmers who did this for the love of the community, for the love of the MVSX. This isn't even official from Unico or anything like that. This is
Yeah,
They did this, and they did a brilliant
I love
job.
it.
It's
Yeah, they did a really good
fantastic.
job.
Oh my god, I can't say enough great things
chat-
about the
The
MVSX.
chat is talking about personal hygiene devices. That's funny. Yeah, I'm
Sharon,
excited though about Rhea talking about the Turtles and Capcom collections. Those are like all that stuff. And the Sonic, you know, everybody said the Sonic thing's so convoluted, which it is. They should have just been like, here, this is like Sonic Deluxe, Sonic Ultimate, or something like that, you know, not been like this weird chart with dots and colored things, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, Turtles and Capcom collections are pickups for me, but I'm hoping Sega releases Sonic Origins physically eventually. Yeah, that would be cool. I'm also, since I don't have a Nintendo Switch, I want to get River City Girls 0, and that's supposed to be coming out sometime soon for PlayStation, so I'll get it for that. But because I liked the first River City Girls game, and River City Girls 0 is that Japanese import that was finally translated to English for, it's like a prequel to the first game. So I don't know, but that's a fun beat 'em up as well. I'm a big fan of that. But you said MVSX right now is you play more than anything else.
Yep. It is.
Are you what are your feelings on iArcade at this point?
I think they are still a super duper baby company, and I think they're doing great things.
I agree.
But I want a marquee, but I don't want to pay for one.
I will. Well, this is what I said too. I have faith in iArcade to not leave us Generation 1 cabinet owners in the cold.
Bobby's made a marquee for one of the iArcade.
Yeah, Bobby does awesome stuff all the way around. I mean, if anybody could figure out a way to make it possible for you to add your own games to the iArcade, it would be Bobby. I mean, just to be fully transparent about it. I mean, because at this point, I don't think there's any way that you could possibly do it. It's made like Fort Knox as far as how they've set everything up, but the newer ones that are coming out, the gold edition stuff, I think those potentially will be hackable because they have USB peripherals on them, and if you have USB, you can be hacked. That's how they were able. Again, that's what we had with the MVSX. That's what we had with, Arcade 1-Up, where people are able to run RetroArch off of a USB stick and run it on an Arcade 1-Up through the USB port, which I think is pretty cool. I'm definitely hoping to get a hold to that hack and try to use it on the Mortal Kombat $17 countercade. I think
that'd be pretty good. That'd make it so much better. Oh my gosh, there's so many Peters in the chat.
Pretty good. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're invaded.
It's like, so I'm not making fun of the person who's doing that. It's weird to me. Like I don't have time to be doing shit like that. What is that life like? I'm so envious of you. I have penis envy of you, Peters.
I enjoy following iArcade news. I'm rooting for them to grow their audience with new game licenses. Rhea, that's what we're all waiting for. We want more licenses, and it's like we've had this conversation ad nauseum about what they need to do, because they're basically, it's like when you look
if
at
they
them,
got Shredder's Revenge, man, that would be
it would be over. It would be over. It would be a game over scenario, because they could
I'd
say
buy a new cab with a
right at that point, yes, because they would come out with a gold edition with the right artwork and everything, and it would be exclusive. Because
it would be so cool looking. Because I gotta say, one thing about our iArcade is, holy crap, does like the cabinet just shines. Like the graphic that they, I don't know. Do you have one? Do you have the OG one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the one with the Coltron, like the original one.
Yeah, that's what I have.
So I like those graphics. Like all the graphics, they all shine. They have like such a nice kind of high gloss finish to them. They seem like they're really well done. Like if you bumped it, I don't feel like it would take a nick out of it like a piece of like the iArcade, So I like that about them a lot. It's a very well built machine. It impressed the crap out of me. That was like one of the things I said in my review a bunch. But
oh yeah, I don't particularly have a problem with the look of the original iArcade either. I actually think it's the most modern looking cabinet of all the cabinets that I have. So for me, it's
it's
it doesn't
very practical if you
bother
think
me.
about it. Like stereo speakers, right? Like on each side of your ears, pretty much. If you're dead center of the cab, they're not cocked weird, like at an angle. They're actually, coming right at you.
And that's
So
the
from
other
a
thing
sound
too.
wave point of view, that actually
The speakers are wonderful.
Oh
The
yeah, it's
speakers
loud.
the sound is great on the iArcade. I
It is.
That's why for me I was like when they made their big announcement that they were partnering with JBL for upgraded sound and speakers in the newer models, I'm thinking, why would you need to do that? That the sound is the one thing that nobody's complaining about when it comes to the iArcade. You really
that's good that they're gonna they're gonna get JBL to come in
yeah
and do the fancy equalizer stuff.
yeah.
Like,
But I love iArcade. I can't complain about it at all. I'm very happy with it. Because they keep adding more and more titles, and
yes, they do.
It's like.
No, I'm not really interested in a lot of them, but that doesn't mean anything. I didn't buy it for anything but my Dragon's Lair games in Space Ace, and I already have those.
See, and that's wonderful too. That's what I'm saying. There's always a few games that you get excited for to really like. Like I say, okay.
I know a lot of people don't like those games.
When they released,
I just like the animation.
When they released Warrior Blade, Roston 3, Warrior Blade on iArcade, I got so excited.
That looks like a cool game. I see that on that track screen,
fun.
And I'm like, because that reminds me of the cool Dungeons and Dragons games that I play on the MVSX. So I wonder if I have that on the MVSX. I actually could have Warrior Blade on the @ games because I have a little.
I have it on through CoinOps, and I can play it on.
It's probably not as fun. I do like the fact that they're licensing these games and they're paying the people who made these games again. It'd be like if you made a song. I would really like to get money again for my song if it's being played a lot. And and this kind of gives those companies that money and that ability. And I like that. Especially somebody who has created art and knows that it's hard to try to make money off of making art.
Exactly.
Because everybody I know that's really good at art, they're like engineers. They were like, they're doing crazy stuff like, they take a whole room and turn it into like some laser light show with mirrors and stuff, and it blows my mind. So, and that's how do you sell something like that? I made this room of mirrors. You come look at my art show. It's really just to influence them to buy other pieces that are portable. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I definitely love video games because of the art of them all and the user interfaces and all the different games.
Yeah.
It's like, I wish that not iArcade, well, actually them too now, because they are going to do the peripherals with, Glenn's retro show. But the iArcade or the arcade 1-ups, like the yoke and the custom controls for the Defender Partycade, they need to do more of that. Like
that Defender Partycade is fantastic.
It's super cool.
I agree with you on the Defender Partycade as being one of the greatest cabinets that Arcade 1-Up has ever released, if not the greatest. Because to me, that was one that they actually did right.
Arcade 1-Up I play.
Yeah, that's the one they did right. And I mean, to be able to play Sinistar.
I know, which that game was hard as crap. I haven't beat Sinistar yet. I can
No, I can't beat Sinistar either, man. I mean,
but
it's so freaking fun to play.
It is fun.
And it's like got the perfect it's actually got the perfect plot too for like a movie. Could you imagine like a Sinistar film where the ship is trapped in space and they're mining, trying to get the crystals that they need to stop this alien godlike ship from devouring the planet? I mean, it'd be awesome. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Sinistar should be a movie. It would be a video game horror movie that would work. That could totally work.
Like the Dead Space game.
Yeah.
A horror movie like that, or like kind of Doomish, but without The Rock and less demons and more. But I agree with that. That'd be really cool. Speaking of like cool movies and things like that, you know what I want to see is a real cool G.I. Joe movie that's 100% hokey, like just like the cartoon. Like
I thought about that too. I thought about it at some point.
Cheesy,
yeah.
Stuff.
And speaking of cheesy, Rhea says we need Street Fighter the movie, the game, exclusively on the iArcade. I would be down with that. I love that game.
Crap out of it.
I love that game. I love that game so much. I practiced for a week for the tournament, for the Laundromat Wars tournament, and then I missed my shot to be in the tournament because I was late getting there, and I missed my check-in and didn't get to face my opponent. So I trained all those days for nothing. And I got pretty good too. I was playing as Ken, and I'm like, this is so much fun. So I know now when I finally do get to play against somebody in a tournament setting for that game, I might actually do well. I might actually have a chance to win.
Yeah,
but
maybe they'll do it back. Ask UAG, see if he'll do another one. I'd watch it. I like that. That was a fun tournament.
Yeah.
He said any movie with less Rock is a bad movie.
Oh my God. But again, speaking of, Arcade 1-up, for me, that's my favorite. That's my favorite Arcade 1-up is the Defender Partycade. I think they knocked that one out of the park in terms of authenticity, in terms of controls, in terms of actually being able to have fun with the unit, and it actually looks good and it plays well. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Sharon Peters likes to have fun playing with the unit.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Absolutely.
You named your name that, so I blame you for turning my mind into a 12-year-old's.
Well, when we have the whole Peters family in the chat, I mean it's
the whole clan.
It's pretty amazing. So I mean, are there any?
Oh man.
Are there any Arcade 1-ups that are due out in the future that you know of that you're looking to get that you haven't got yet?
The Tron put a big nasty taste in my mouth, like I licked some pennies or something in someone's dirty butthole. So I don't know how quick I am to go give them my money again, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that. The Tron cabinet is something I've never been able to understand because, like Console Fanboy is so fond of saying, it's like a big purple nightlight. So it's just, so in all honesty, it's just like furniture aesthetic.
It is 100% furniture aesthetic, but I have like nostalgia for it because there was a freaking place called Skateland by where I grew up, and they had that Tron cabinet, and then they also had the environmental one that you could get in with the black lights, and I loved those things. They were so much fun. I'd get in the environmental one and slide with it on my skates, and then I'd play this one, and I'd get pissed off, and I'd kick the front of it, and then be like, "Stop doing that, you little bastard!" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because I really did that. But you got skates and you lose, you got that little kick toe thing. That's why OG cabinets. I was like, I know they're made out of plywood, mofo. Yeah, I've kicked them with skates.
Purple and blue nightlights available now on Amazon for less than $17.99, and then price is legit. Yeah.
Have you noticed the Tron cabinet has never gone on sale? Besides,
no, and it's not going to go on sale. This is the thing; it's not going to go on sale, and neither is the Killer Instinct. That's not going to go on sale either.
No, you're right. And I'm curious, what is your take on the whole Pro Cab? I don't know if it's worrisome. I don't think that it's going to do as well as people think it's going to do.
I don't think so either. I think it's a dead on arrival line.
I think they
to be
screwed
honest,
themselves with making the XL cab. People are going to just be like, why don't you just make the XLs because they look cheaper, but they look taller, and that's all we really wanted. But
they
then
look
it's not really
taller.
is it?
It's not really taller when you think about it.
The control deck is the same height, so
you see the two people standing at the deck, and they still look like they're going to be extremely uncomfortable playing together. It's not. It doesn't really fix anything.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's so weird. It's like why. I think Kong's had the video where he was at the reveal event, and they had the OG one next to the XL, and they were at the same height. The control decks. I was like,
same height. I think the wood was just one piece instead of
one piece, and I think the marquee made it look taller.
Yeah, because that marquee is beautiful and it's big, and it just sort of jumps out at you. I think that with that XL cabinet, it is going to be a detriment to the Pro line, I think. Because personally, I would have no faith whatsoever in buying a Pro line, because you're not going to spend that kind of money for the kinds of technical problems you have with arcade 1-ups.
Yeah.
I mean,
and my big go-to with all of that is they're not using a different PCB in the Pro. So what am I paying for? I'm only paying for like a couple aesthetic things, not really actual upgrading of the hardware, but it's like I'm having to pay for that cost, like if I was upgrading the hardware. Like think of the Steam Deck tier. There's 400, there's 550, and there's 650. I don't know if that's exactly right. It's roughly right. So those all give you different things. You're paying essentially for them to add different memory inside of it. So
right,
a 512 stick of memory is roughly $150 to $200, depending on how good it is for M2, and then it's $100 for the 256, and then it's $79 for the 64, and that's what makes the cost change. But what is IRK doing for the Pro line? All they did was add some hapsticks, and if the 19-inch monitor is the same as the monitor everybody's griping about right now, which I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything. Then which is the same as the IRK monitor, like everybody proved. So, and I think my IRK monitor looks good.
I don't have a problem with the IRK.
Which makes me think that the power is an issue here, because like to give you an idea, my Steam Deck, when I use my little capture device with it, it's a crappy capture device. It costs $15. It's stuck at 30 hertz. That means that every second only 30 cycles are happening. It could be something similar that iArcade has fine-tuned the way the power supply is giving power to that monitor. Maybe they're giving power directly to the monitor rather than going through the PCB and then to the monitor. Maybe iArcade is doing that versus Arcade 1-Up doing it through the PCB and then to the monitor. Like, it could be a lot of different factors. I don't know, but I could start throwing out 1,000 different things, and then someone will just have to compare the two stupid things together.
Well, it's the big word here. What Papa Brad's Gaming is saying, optimization. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Basically, iArcade cares about optimizing the machines to perform the best they possibly can, whereas Arcade 1-Up just puts a system on a chip, shoves it into the system, and doesn't care if doesn't do anything to configure it as far as how making sure it looks good on the monitor. I've come to the conclusion, much like you right now, that it isn't the monitor, it's the power.
Yeah, it has something to do with it's interesting because I have a Dell monitor. I'm using one of them right now, and there's a little port it has a rubber stopper on it. When you remove the port, it says it's for internal use only, for them to like hook up devices to it to check the monitor before it goes out. It's like a quality control port. That is the same port that the iArcade uses for the monitor. It's that weird long black thing or whatever that kind of goes in. So I think that literally they just essentially have taken a board that probably at one point was used for some kind of testing, and then they turned it into an arcade machine. Because that
Yeah.
would be a powerful enough machine to do that. And if you look at the PCB board, it says iArcade, and it looks like it's specifically.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that all the problems people were having with Killer Instinct was power issues too.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, the system on a chip wasn't optimized well enough.
Yeah.
Initially,
just like
for them
building a
to
computer, if you don't have the right power supply and you're trying to hook up a bunch of USB things and plug other devices into it, you might not have power to run all that stuff, and it might keep trying to, but it'll slow your machine down in the process. And it's the same idea. You can have, ill effects to all that kind of stuff, but yeah. But
Sharon
sorry.
Peters says, after I trim my bush, I always yell out to my neighbors, clean like a mother to die for. That's awesome. Okay, we honestly, Sharon, that was great. Oh my God, that's so funny. What's up, Moat? Good to see you, brother.
Hey, Mo.
That's got to be the comment of the night.
It really is.
Especially on Bobby Boo's birthday of all days. We're gonna definitely make that the comment of the night. I love it.
Shoot.
Again, we can always count on Sharon Peters to bring
that was
the
awesome.
levity to the chat. It's so much fun. I love it. I love it. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
I'm dying here. I can't even take myself seriously when I read stuff like that.
Oh my God. It was amazing. It's amazing. It's made my cheeks hurt.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Papa Brad said something about Jung being fully invested in the product, and I see it. I see it in the way he talks about it and stuff. And well, I mean, I this is how I can compare to it. Like when I was trying to make a little independent film thing, you got to do pre-production, you got to create all this stuff, you got to create like a rough draft, and he did all that for many years prior to him ever coming to the market, and he like brought this thing to fruition, and he's kept doing it and doing it and doing it. It's only been like a year and some in the public eye where he was at like CES a couple times, and he's been trying to create this device and come to market for a while now, and I hope that it continues to do well for him. It's nice to see people succeed when they're a nice small little company like that with a bunch of people that have families, and because it'll benefit all of them, right? Not just like.
And I agree 100% with both you and Papa Brad about Jong. I've had a number of conversations with him through Facebook Messenger, and he is one of the most kindest, most giving people. When it comes to being invested in a product, this is how you should be. He's one of the it's like Bobby just says here, Jong is the nicest CEO I've ever met. Yeah, he really is. He's awesome. And you can have a conversation with him about it, and he'll be open. He'll be very transparent about stuff. He's so cool. And this is one of the reasons why it's so easy to pull for the iArcade, because you see the kind of people that are involved with it.
Too,
Yeah, he's amazing, and that's why I say you want it to succeed no matter what, because of who's behind the scenes. When you see,
right.
because for all the crazy nutcases that people that are in charge, CEOs of these big companies, you see somebody like Jong. He's a very rare individual, and
he's awesome. He really
and that's
is.
what makes him, and that's what makes it so awesome to see. It's like, wow.
You hit it on the head there. Like, it's something that like I've seen a bunch of different. I've worked for companies, big, small, and stuff like that, and he strikes me as the kind of person that you could have a beer with, and you could shoot the crap with, and you would never offend him. He would just always be appreciative of your company. And
Exactly.
have a good time with him. There would be no negativeness at all.
And anything that you ask him about with regards to the product, he's going to be honest with you, and that's another thing that I really appreciated, because when I messaged him, I know, because I had an issue. I was very negative at first about the iArcade back in the day, and I had said some things about iArcade on Twitter, and they ended up blocking me on Twitter. And I had gone to John,
you got freed from the Twitter jail?
I apologize. Yeah, I went and I had a conversation with John on Facebook, and I explained, how, he had totally, turned my view around on the iArcade. It's such a wonderful product, and and it's a well-made product, and has so much potential.
I want more games too, and I was a Kickstarter backer, and I backed it because I wanted a Dragon's Lair cabinet in my house.
Great. I'm glad you said that, because this is my next question. You're probably the guy to ask about this, Endless. Yeah. Dragon's Lair. Okay?
Yeah.
When I want to play Dragon's Lair, now I'll confess, I'm not like the world's biggest Dragon's Lair fan. So for me,
a lot of people
when I want to play Dragon's Lair, I'm happy that it was a pack-in game on the iArcade.
Yeah.
Because it's probably not a game that I would purchase. Mm-hmm. And so that I have access to it for free, that's cool. But my question to you is, how do you feel about Arcade1up releasing Dragon's Lair? And are you going to get an Arcade1up Dragon's Lair, being that you're a big Dragon's Lair fan and you have nostalgia for the game?
So no, I'm not going to get the Arcade1up one. And because I don't want another riser cab. I can't see it right now, but if I stood up next to that Tron cab, which is 6 foot tall, I don't know, it's almost 6 foot tall. I don't know what it is, but I can put my arm over it, like out, and it's here. So it's there. They all look kind of comical next to me.
Yeah.
So I don't want to continue buying that style of cabinet. But I like the cabs I got, and I don't think I'll buy it because I already have the game, but I also have the game on Steam.
It's like this. If you want to play the game, iArcade gives you a perfectly acceptable, authentic version to play. Yeah. It's optimized for the iArcade. It plays really wonderful. The buttons and sticks are better than anything you're going to get with an Arcade1up. So just because the Arcade1up is shaped more like the Dragon's Lair, it's going to look a little more authentic. It still isn't really authentic. So I don't understand what the big deal is. I don't understand why it's like...
And that's kind of where I was like, the coolest thing about it is the marquee and the little, LCD display or whatever. But, it's... I don't know. It's not 100%. It looks cheap to me because it doesn't have the waterfall cascade, which you could fix real easy. But I don't want to have to do that. I'm not one to buy something knowing that I have to mod it to make it the way I want it.
Right.
I've only done that with like one thing in my life. It was a car, a Dodge Challenger. That's it. The only thing I've ever like modded beyond what it came out. That's it. And nothing else. I don't really try to do that. I think it's like a collector in me kind of thing. Yeah. But I also not a collector of things that I expect to sell. I open them up and I play with them. Like I have this thermal detonator that I
right. So if you want to, so the thing is, you have an iArcade and you have Dragon's Lair on the iArcade, and when you want to play Dragon's Lair, you'll play it on the iArcade, and that's perfectly acceptable. And that's what I always said. I'm like, it's not Dragon's Lair is not a game I would buy, but the fact that it came packed in with the iArcade is great, because now guess what? Now I actually play it. So
and the cool thing is you can actually, I think it has the ability to just watch the video. So you can watch the whole video through without actually playing the game. So if you ever wanted to experience the whole video of what the story is, you could it'll
now you have that now you have that opportunity, which is awesome. And Console Fanboy with the $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Console Fanboy. Says we buy their products not only for the amazing quality, but for the people involved too. The community and the people behind the scenes are some of the kindest people I've met. I agree 100%. And I'm going to have to do a drop here. I'm trying to get in the mode of doing drops, and I'm definitely
I
going
like
to add
them.
some more. But I'm going to give you a little bit of Georgina. I think this is appropriate for Console Fanboy, and especially because we got all the whole Peters family in here. So let's go with this.
No, 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 no. Yeah. Love bad boys, my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. Love bad boys, my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. Love bad boys, my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. If finding somebody green is your fucking problem, bring your boys to the crib, maybe we can solve it. Hold up, but you simmer down, taking it alone, boy, give it to me now. Make that thing pop like a Simi or a 9. Ooh, baby, like it raw with a shimmy, shimmy, aye. You bitch, get it like me. Never met a motherfucker fresh like me. Hold on, and I might just be the girl that you fall for. Bitches at me, cause I'm a singer, singer, singer. Makes the boys' lips quiver. Jaws raw when I'm here, they think I can't deliver. Baby, I can show you things that you never heard of. Boy, let me teach you. Don't tell anyone, though. I'm not the kind of girl that gets it all on the show. Just a woman's got needs, and boy, we both know that you gotta know. So you know, you know, you know. I'll be still bad boys, my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. I love bad boys, it's my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. I love bad boys, my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. If finding somebody real is your fucking problem, bring your boys to the crib, maybe we can solve it. You know I love it when this beat is on. Make you think about all the females you've been leading on. Make me think about all the men that I've been feeding on. Got a feeling that's the same shit that we speaking on. No word, ain't in my album where you're sleeping on. You should bring the lyrics out and have a fucking read along. Ain't a fucking sing along, and she'd rather read alone and just okay, okay. Then just drop down and get your ego on. I read your topic, now it's time to lay it on. We've been talking too much shit, boy, this chat is on. Time to change the tempo up, baby, why don't you bring it on? You've been waiting all night, trying to get me alone. I've been waiting for the word, so you'll take me home, yes, Lord. I don't really say this often, but enough shit talking, show me some action. Now I beast, love bad boys, my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. I love bad boys, my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. I love bad boys, my fucking problem. Yeah, I like to fuck, I got a fucking problem. If finding somebody real is your fucking problem, bring your boys to the crib, maybe we can solve it. Yeah, host finale, a pep talk turned into a pep rally. Steady from the hood, but I live inside the valley. Now you make it in London, but you going back to Cali or all. Got your boy on my line, word on my line. I need you fucked them at the same damn time. Lie me like a girl don't exist. Boy, I know you want these tits. My name is Georgina Revo. Keep an eye out, I'm running the show. Keeping these bad boys in line, don't you know? Teasing these boys so they can't take no more. Hold them off, hey boy, you got a long way. Don't get involved, listen what the crystal ball say. Hallelujah, holler back out to your beast.
All right, so thank you again for the super chat, Console Fanboy, and that was my good friend Georgina Revo. She is
That was
awesome.
That
She's
was
awesome. She's a great musician, and yeah, I love
was
her
like
stuff.
jamming out to that. That was amazing.
That's great stuff.
I think Console Fanboy and her could make a pretty cool song together.
I think they could too. I would actually love.
Pretty freaking cool,
I would actually love to get the two of them in contact with each other, and maybe they could do like some sort of a duet or something. I think that'd be awesome. It's like with Georgina, it's difficult to get a hold to her because of the time differences. She's in the UK, and
cool.
So we, but every once in a while, I do get a chance to, catch up with her and stuff. I've had her
Cool.
on my show tons of times. She's very, very awesome, and it's great though. I would love to do that. Let's see. Console Fanboy says me and Georgina should make a baby forget the
Oh
song.
my god.
Well, the song,
Ugh.
but see the song, and as you know, Console Fanboy, music is the window to the soul. It's how it all starts, though, bro. So
That's right.
and
You're halfway
you've
there.
both got that. You've got that talent that you're able to, and you're able to channel that, and who knows. Who knows? Yes, yes, you are absolutely right. It is her version of effing problems from ASAP.
It's better when she sings it.
Her version is much better, though. I think.
Yeah.
She actually improved upon the original song greatly. So yeah. Let's see. Console Fanboy says, "I'm writing a song about Georgina. I'm done with Miss Click." Yeah, you should be done with
You're done with Miss
Click.
Click.
Miss Click should call herself Miss Disrespectful at this point, because I've never seen I've never seen anything like that in my life. I'm like, man, how can you be this disrespectful to somebody who's clearly a fan of yours?
Yeah.
I've never understood that. Like, and he didn't even say anything that was disrespectful to her at all. I was like, what are you doing?
I've witnessed stuff like that before, and it reminds me of high school.
I just feel like she was showing off in front of her friends on the panel, RGT 85 and the other guy that was on there. I think she was putting on a show for them, I think, more than anything else, because because her response really didn't make any sense based off of what Zohar said.
Yeah.
Zohar didn't say anything whatsoever that should have been considered rude, sexual, or inappropriate, or anything of that nature. So
yeah,
I don't get it. I mean, I couldn't imagine how Miss Click would be, in a live chat like this with Sharon Peters
so
and
many
all
Sharons.
so many Sharons in here. I mean
so many Peters. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
There's only one Sharon.
I mean, it just made no sense to me. I mean, and she should be honored that a talented guy like Console Fanboy made a song, a pretty great, catchy song, by the way, dedicated to her, that people will listen to and sing along with. I mean, come on, dude. That Zelda song was dope. And she didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Someone who plays games the way that she does, how could she not appreciate that? I mean,
I like the song.
Yeah, and I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But I mean, again, for her to react that way.
Though, so I can't write any music. No talent there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you're gonna, and here's the thing, I say this too, like, way to alienate your fans. Like, you have somebody who is like a super fan, and so what if he's got like an internet crush on you or whatever? Who cares about that? What does that have to do anything?
He has one on Sharon Peters too. So what?
But this is the thing. Most of the guys that probably follow her and watch her videos are her simps. Most of the time, most of them. So why is she singling out Console Fanboy? It doesn't make any sense.
Of the song.
Yeah, it's because of the song and because she's uncomfortable about the song. It's like, listen, man, just let it go.
Yeah, drawing attention to it just doesn't makes it weird and awkward.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, she could have just played it off and let it go and not said another word about it. He wouldn't have said anything else either with that, so I'll never understand it. But that's just my take on it. I just wish she would have handled that differently. I mean,
yeah, right. I mean, but that's one thing about being human. You never know what's going on in their own life at any particular moment. You know, and I often even have to remind myself of that. And it could be that something else was going on and then that triggered something else, you know. So I always like to try to give people the benefit of the doubt on that for the most part. Unless they come at me aggressively like that was, and then I would just cut them off.
Like that one situation where you were defending your point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I shouldn't have to, because it's a fact. Like, I get one thing I learned about the internet, man. It doesn't matter how much knowledge you have of something, just don't argue, because it's fucking stupid.
Well, especially if you're gonna argue against somebody who is equally, in their feelings about what their beliefs are. So if you have somebody that's equally strong in their beliefs, whether they're right or wrong, you're not going to be able to change their opinion, whether there are facts are involved. Yeah, because facts
it sounds like that person's not able to learn then, because the sooner you admit that you don't know something, the quicker you can actually learn it. One thing I've had to learn from doing, like, I do some pretty heavy troubleshooting and stuff. It's I want to talk about it, but it's pretty a bunch of crazy freaking crap, and it's taught me that you got to learn to just admit when you're wrong, because if you don't, you're not going to be able to get to the solution of the problem. And if I don't get to the solution of the problem, I don't continue to do my job anymore. So I always have to continue to get to the solution of the problem, which means that I have to admit that I'm wrong many times during the day, or admit that I might not know something and then I have to go learn it. Because I oftentimes figure out that I have to go learn something and then I have to be able to teach it back to somebody else. And if I can't teach it back to somebody else, then I don't know it. So,
yeah,
and I think
I agree.
That's why I was so adamant about that, because, dude, I was not only a finished carpenter, I worked at freaking True Value Hardware that had a lumber mill. And you know what they sell in lumber mills, right? They sell wood. You know what they sell in freaking hardware stores, right? They sell veneer and plywood. Like, I know what the shit is. I had to, like, take customers over to it and be like, here's your crap. You know,
here's your crap.
Seriously, like, it's.
I've always looked at it like that. For me, I've always had no problem admitting when I didn't know something or I didn't understand something, because the reality is,
yeah, well, I don't actually
if you don't
people either.
If you don't know, it's better to admit that you don't know, so that you can move on and you can learn.
Say that you and I are talking, and all of a sudden you start telling me that 2 + 2 = 8. I don't give a shit if that's what you're saying. I'm not going to attack you for saying that. That motherfucker attacked me for what I was saying. And then I defended myself, which was stupid, because that person is stupid and I wasted my time and energy on that nonsense, and I will never do that shit again. No, I'm not talking.
All I'll say again about that was that it was very entertaining. Sharon Peters says, take shirt off, Endless. Do it for the fans, all 4 of them. Just kidding, by the way. I just subscribed to your channel. You're really funny.
Thanks. My lollipop agrees. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's weird. Like, I have a belief in general. Like, I've never seen you, Zod, just go and be like, oh, Console Fanboy, that song you made. Like, why did you sing about that and stuff? Or like how Miss Click responded to Console Fanboy about how that was weird and negative and like strange. Like, that's the same type of mentality of those types of people. And I don't want to associate with that shit anymore. It really kind of rottens you in your core if you focus on that and kind of fall prey to that and kind of get in that weird, like, you know, perpetual fuck cycle is what I like to call it. But yeah, just it's better to stay away.
You know, I don't even, and that's the thing. I don't even like to go at people at all.
Oh no,
I tend to stay, and I tend to stay positive, because what happens is if I go negative, it's because I got caught up in my emotions.
Oh yeah,
and when you get caught up in your emotions, that just fuels it, because you're not. Yeah, because now you're not even thinking. Now you're not even thinking.
It triggered me
logically.
like people who've told me that I was wrong in my life, when I knew I was right, but they still would say I was wrong. Like that drives me nuts. But I've learned to be like, that's where arguments on the internet aren't worth squat. Like I was trying to tell somebody one time about they were talking about Dolby Atmos. And I was telling them, I was like, yeah, that's just the current marketed term that Dolby has come out with. There used to be Dolby Digital, there used to be Dolby Surround. Now there's Dolby Atmos. There'll be
There was
Dolby 3D
DTS,
Atmos.
digital theater, digital theater
There was
system.
THX.
I used to have headphones that were DTS,
Yep.
Sony Digital
And that's
Theater.
that's still a good kind of thing. And what all that is similar to is what iArcade did with the JBL things with fine tuning crap. It's very similar to that
So
stuff.
it's more of a software type thing.
Yep. And it's 100% software. So like the Dolby Atmos is like, depending on if you have headphones on and if the headphones are set up right for it, you can like turn your head and the freaking wherever you're looking, you'll hear that shit. So like in the weird like VR world, it can like blow your mind. That's where like a lot of it's being developed and used, but it's also being used in theaters because in Pro Tools, there's like a little panel in there with like how you have your speakers set up in your theater, you can have the sounds come out of whatever thing. They do it in big score rooms where they have the same setup as a theater and they sit there and then they mix it in real time so they can hear it just as an audience. They have people sit in the front of the house, center of the house, back of the house so they can hear how it sounds. And then the sounds sound like they're kind of surrounding you and moving around you within.
Yeah, it has that
so
that spectrum
that's
sound.
Actually a bunch of math because it's taking this object is moving from this part of the frame over to here, so we have to track the sound as well. So now you have metadata to track that sound. Where before you were just like, I got a left channel and a right channel, or a left channel, right channel, center channel, sub, and then rear, left, and right. Where now it's like, no, there's metadata that a computer has to process it and understand where that stuff is going. So it's actually, there's a benefit to it, but the name of it would be changed. But I got into an argument with somebody on the internet once about it, and everybody on the internet was agreeing with that person, and I did not know how to get my argument across. So I've learned lesson from that. Never argue with anybody on the internet. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't matter how much you know about something.
No.
And I know a lot about this because, well, I don't want to tell you why, but I know a lot about it. It's something that I do know. Not enough that I could do it for a living, but I know enough about it because I have used Pro Tools and seen the Atmos panel and seen people mess with it, like in a studio. So.
Okay, and Console Fanboy wants to know, is that a Logitech controller behind you, Zod? No, that's actually a wired Xbox One controller that I have connected to the Bobby Vu Batacera PC behind the couch. And I got that set up because I'm going to be doing, on Tuesday, I'm going to be showcasing my version of the Couchcade that I made as a result of getting Bobby Vu's Batacera along with the At Games Legends Gamer Pro. I got it all here. I even got a 24-inch monitor so that it's the same size as the At Games Legends Ultimate monitor. And because I've got the Gamer Pro and the Bobby Vu it's all connected. So I'm gonna showcase that on Tuesday. I'm just the reason why I had to push it back was because there were some components and things that I wanted that I was waiting to get in the mail. So by Tuesday I should have everything set up the way I want, and then I'll showcase it. I think you guys are gonna like it. It looks awesome, and I'm gonna detail how anybody can do it, and it's definitely better and easier and most likely cheaper than buying an Arcade 1UP Couchcade. Just saying. Dolby Atmos would be a great name for a baby. I agree. That is great, Sharon. Sharon, if you have a baby, please name your baby Dolby Atmos. That would be so awesome. Dolby Atmos Peters. I mean that's Dolby Atmos Pino. That's perfect. God, I'm sorry, Sharon, but I mean, I would love to like pin this comment, but your other comment is already pinned, so can't have two of them. But that's a great comment. Let's see, and Sharon says, I actually have a Dolby Atmos Bluetooth vibrator. Okay,
So when those pod
whatever
racers
worked
come by,
for
it's
you,
like,
right? I mean, wow. My ex-girlfriend's name was Betta Sarah. Oh wow. God, this chat is just amazing. Have Bobby come on the show. Well, if Bobby is available, yeah, I would definitely like to have Bobby come on
cool.
Tuesday.
If
he's available for what I'm gonna do, I think it would be super appropriate to have Bobby on. Bobby says he can't wait, so that should be fun. Console Fanboy says I find vibrators threatening.
You know, they make a lot of noise.
Some are louder than vacuum cleaners.
Some are vacuum cleaners.
That's very true. That Hitachi, what was that? What's that Hitachi? What is the actual use for that Hitachi? Isn't it like those
shoulder things?
Like a hair wand or something? Or
I don't know.
And it's used for other things now.
There's the all natural when you go into the vegetable aisle at the store.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, this conversation degenerated quickly. So
it did. I don't know where we went to. It's the chat. We started getting sucked in from the chat.
Oh yeah. I got Sharon Peters on the brain right now, so I'm gonna have to just.
It's okay.
Let's see, Bobby. Yeah, it is. It's amazing. It's amazing stuff. I love this, and you know, what was so does your Tron cabinet still work?
Oh, now it does finally, but it does freeze on Discsatron when I load into Discsatron. If I just let it go on a track mode or whatever, I'll look over and it'll be frozen. So I have to reset it. So that's kind of lame, but that'll be, if I'm not going to call them again, that'll be the third PCB. I've played it a little bit and it's never failed me when I'm playing it. So I think it just I don't know, man. It's one of the reasons why I said I don't know if I'm giving my money to them.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you there. I couldn't imagine that's why I say I couldn't imagine getting a Killer Instinct. That's why I'm having Bobby Boo. I'm having Bobby Boo build me a Killer Instinct bar top whenever he gets a chance. I don't want to deal with Arcade1up. I don't have any desire to buy their machine. I'm just, it's so many problems and issues and glitches, and oh my God, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. For that kind of money, that thing should work flawlessly out of the box. You shouldn't have to drive it around and take it to McDonald's to connect to Wi-Fi. What's up, Integrity 101? Long time no see, man. Glad you're here. How you doing? I know this is off topic, but it seems like no one is discussing the Batman on any channels. Boy, that film's been forgotten fast. Yeah, because it's trash.
Yeah,
it's completely mid trash. I don't understand how anybody can sit there and tell. I'll never understand the people that keep saying that movie is good. Although like you said, nobody's talking about it now. So yeah, it fell off. And I think the reason it fell off so quickly is because they threw it on HBO Max. And if you have HBO Max, you can just watch it with your subscription. So why worry about that's probably why it didn't make $1 billion at the box office. I mean, of course, being a boring slog of a movie that puts people to sleep doesn't help either, but I don't know. Sosa Fan Bam Bam says, Endless1 regular fight stick or hitbox, 2 Android or Apple, 3 McDonald's or Burger King. Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
so I did. I made this fight stick,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
yeah, so and yeah, I like the graphic and stuff, and I like the buttons that I got for it, and it's nice. So I use this, but I I like the hitboxes. They're cool. I might map my keyboard someday to do that because if you that's like a good way to kind of like find out if you like the hitbox type setup is you can map your keyboard to kind of
I've got the Mortal Kombat fight stick, the one that came out
like the one like
several
Console
years ago.
Fanboy
The
has.
exact one that Console Fanboy
Cool.
bought. I
That
bought the
one's a
same
nice.
one.
That's like isn't
And
that like a really good fight stick with a bunch of high
it's
end crap
hapstick.
in it?
Yeah, it's
nice.
a hapstick, and it's
Nice.
fantastic. I use that for Fightcade. That's the one that
Nice.
I love. Like, I mean, because it's arcade authentic, so you actually get that experience. And so for me, I'm like, if I can't play a game with that stick, then I won't be playing that game. I got it connected, and I'm like, all my arcade fighting games and whatever, I use that stick, and it's fun. It's a fun experience. So I mean, and speaking of that, Console Fanboy says I'm waiting for the MK30th for $499 cab to be $49.99 on Amazon.
Yeah,
exactly,
that'd be awesome.
Exactly, that would be awesome. And what would be great is if that happens when it goes up for pre-order.
Yeah.
And then they have to honor that
awesome.
$49.99 as a pre-order price. But see, I look at it like this. The buttons and sticks for that are going to still be the same crappy arcade 1-up buttons and sticks. They're not going to put hap sticks in that Mortal Kombat machine. So what is really the allure of it other than being able to play online? And you can already do that on Fightcade. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not really.
Which I need to finish installing Fightcade. I haven't done it yet.
Oh yeah, just watch Kongs R Us's video. He'll tell you how to do all that.
Do it. I kind of I did part of his video, and then I had other crap to do. But I'm gonna finish it because I want to get in the tournament soon. I have an Android phone. I have a Google Pixel phone. I liked my Pixel 2 XL, and this is a Pixel 6. And I like this phone a lot. It's a really nice phone. I've owned iPhones, but and I have 2 MacBooks. I have a MacBook M1 Pro, and then I have a MacBook from 2013. But both of those are work laptops. And then I have a HP ZBook that's also a work laptop. And my HP ZBook is better than that M1 all freaking Pro that I have. So, and that ZBook is old, like 2 or 3 years old, and that has like, and I think it has like I don't know. It's a workstation laptop though that I use for work. So they're all workstation laptops supposedly, but I don't like Apple. I don't like Apple because it's a closed system. It's expensive.
Yeah,
and they lock people out of their devices essentially because, you know, if you don't have the money. They also treated me like crap one time. Like my kid, I got her an iPod for her birthday, and my dog, it had this rubber coating on it. My dog went the rubber coating protecting thing on it, so it bit it and broke it, just like right through the screen and cracked it. And I called up Apple and I was like, I explained to them what happened. I was like, can I like get one at a discount or something? Like, can you like do a make good? Like, I'll buy the Apple Care Now or something. And they're like, no. So I was like, that sucks. So I had to go, you know, get her something else. But I didn't buy another Apple device myself since then. And a good story is like my Pixel. Like I got a free pair of earbuds from them, and these are like $100 earbuds. And the first pair I had, I dropped them in coffee and ruined them. They worked until the battery ran out, and then they wouldn't recharge because the water and sugar kind of ruined the electronics. But I called up Google and I explained to them, hey, I'm an idiot and I dropped this crap in my coffee. Is there any way you can give me another pair? And they're like, sure. So that goes a long way when a company will be like, we got your back. You know, it was
Yeah.
$100. They're both $100 items. Google had no problem doing this, and they knew I messed up. Apple, and I was honest with both places. So I think that goes a really long way. Just give that a little story there. So
Yeah, it
my
does.
experience.
And you know, I had an experience with iArcade with my customer service when I got my iArcade all together, plugged it up, it wouldn't work. It turned out that little snake that's on the back of the machine was defective,
Oh,
and they had to
yeah.
send me out a new one. And they knew right away when I explained to them the problem I was having. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you probably have a defective snake," and they sent me another one right away, and
That's cool.
that
Though.
was the problem. Yeah, iArcade is on it. They got like the best customer service I've ever
Yeah, they
seen
do.
as far as
They were really good when they helped me out and stuff because I had to have my PCB replaced, and they were super cool about it. So Sharon Peters is not trying to brag, but I have a 2000 Dell laptop. I'm not bragging about that crap. I don't actually own any of those devices. If I ever leave my job, those devices go with my company. I would never, like, I don't have money to buy that shit. Like, I can't go buy. What does a stupid Mac Apple laptop cost? That thing's probably like $5,000. I'm not spending. My desktop PC that I built cost me like $2,000, and I think it'd be better than a laptop anyway. So I have to like live my life fairly careful because I was a full-time single parent for so long, and that took a lot of debt. Like I have a lot of debt from that. So I'm still working my way out of that. I'm almost out of it. Almost dug up out of that hole.
okay. Well, man, to wrap up, what do you got? What do you got coming up? What's coming up for you and your
More
channel?
Steam Deck videos. I'm gonna probably do a little bit of an animation thing coming up. I think I'm gonna try to do some more popular events. Like we got Obi-Wan coming out, and we got the Ahsoka show that's like being talked about for the Star Wars world. We got a couple other things. I might try to make some silly videos to kind of capitalize on the funniness of some of that crap. We'll see.
Well, you know, Sharon, you've already got the comment of the night, but I don't know. I got to give you credit because you just
This is
keep
the
trying.
third one.
Nothing
This
worse
is the
than a
third
defective
one.
snake, but it happens to a lot of men. On that note, you know what? I want to thank you very much, Endless1up, for
Thank you, man.
spending tonight with me for late night Q&A. This has been so much fun. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming. The super chats, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are awesome. The Peters family always makes these chats so entertaining and fun, and it's awesome. And this is why, Sharon, I don't know how many of your comments have been made my comments of the night on these late night Q&As, but you make them all awesome. So thank you so much. And as anybody that ever tells me, you know, to block or ban Sharon Peters,
No!
I think they're crazy. I'm like, there's no way I would do that. There's a reason why Sharon Peters is a mod on this channel, because I want to know when Sharon comes in. I want to be able to be like, oh yeah, that's Sharon Peters, because you know, you get a lot of copycats and fakes who wanna try to pretend to be people that they aren't. So that's and Console Fanboy says subscribe to Endless or else. I agree, definitely. Subscribe to Endless, subscribe to Console Fanboy, subscribe to Rhea, subscribe to
Zod,
and subscribe to me if you haven't already. Thank you very much. I would appreciate that. And Sharon Peters says, keep it real and keep it shaved. Thank you, Endless. Thank you again, Endless1up. I will see you guys next week on Late Night Q&A. Next Thursday, I will have the pleasure of welcoming Mr. Mike of all trades. So it'll be Moat. So it'll be fun. It's going to be fun to have him on. I know he's going to be an interesting character after dark. We all are, right? But that's why I like to do this show so late at night, because it gives people a chance to, I feel like this is the best kind of thing to do, the kind of show to do when, the night is winding down and you're getting ready to end your night and go to sleep, and this is kind of cool.
I appreciate it.
I feel like I feel like a late night talk show host.
You are one. You are. And you know what? You're even a professional one now because you got super chats. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's one way
and
of looking
at it.
Special
because I was your guest. Thanks,
well,
man,
you are, man, and I'm glad you were here. This was fun, man, and I'll definitely have you on again. And I've got so many. The thing about this show is I've got so many guests planned, and I got so many ideas.
It's impressive.
This thing is amazing because it seems like I end up with all my stuff at least 3 weeks in advance. I know who I'm going to have. Almost all of June as of now is booked. So it's moving along pretty good. Someday we're gonna have to get Sharon Peters on here. Sharon says, I really hope that Moat will take his shirt off, and Council Fanboy says that he will. And on that note, good night, Sharon.